The moment you decide to look outside of yourself for value is the moment you give your rights away to be authentically you. Your value is not in what your mother thinks of you, what your father thinks of you, what your family and friends think of you. Your value is what you think of yourself. That is the secret to authentically loving and being you.
Welcome to Soul Food with Sadie. It's time to feed your soul, uplifting others through inspiration, motivation, and edifying the soul so we can be the best version of ourselves. Here's your host, Sadie Evans.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Thank you all for tuning in to Soul Food with Sadie. We have yet another guest, you guys. I am so excited for season 3, Pressing Through Pressure, all the gems and seeds that are going to be given into you guys. We have Naomi Geidel on the line today. How are you, Naomi?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
You're welcome. I'm good. Thank you for being a guest on the show. Can you tell us about who you are?
Yeah, well, thanks so much for having me, and I'm happy to share what I've learned along the way. So I'm currently located in Bangkok, Thailand, and I'm a life purpose and transition coach for creatives that want to put their beauty out in the world and just need some kind of help on how to do that. So
Yes, that is so good. How'd you get into that?
Well, I've been in education for over 20 years. And so I've always really enjoyed helping people see them grow, really navigating, like with students, you're always trying to troubleshoot different ways to do things. And so when I knew that season was kind of up and I was ready to move on to something else, I was really looking in, I thought it would be counseling, the road I went down, but I stumbled upon coaching, and that seemed to align better with my skills and, how I really want to support others.
Yeah.
And I am a creative myself. And so I know all the kind of hiccups and things that we can fall into when we're trying to be creative, or maybe some things hold us back from actually putting it out in the world. And so that's kind of how I got into it.
Well, that is good. So this season is all about pressing through pressure. Can you tell us what that means to you?
Yeah, pressing through pressure, man. So during this transition of moving from education to building my own business and coaching, that was also a season that I went through one of the hardest times in my life of deep grief, of really realizing that I wouldn't have children due to extended singleness. And so I didn't even know that was a thing, but I really experienced it. And so it really affected my identity. And, and as I was moving to build this business, right? If anybody's experienced grief, they know that it takes a lot of energy. And so, having a purpose for my life, I knew I had work to do, but then I was also I didn't have the energy to do it. And so there was a struggle of just allowing myself to kind of sit with the pain, work through the pain, be refined by it.
Yes.
And also give myself the grace to give myself that time to actually heal. And so that's what pushing through the pressure means to me. It's allowing ourselves to grow, evolve, change, but come back stronger because of that, pressure that we've been under that we probably never saw coming.
Exactly. And I heard you say refine, and the refinery is what? Fire. So we have to go through that fire to be able to drop things off of us that no longer serve us, so we can become the best version of ourselves and help the people that we are destined to help. So when you were going through those things, I heard you say the stillness, really sitting with yourself. How important do you feel like stillness is when you are going through that pressing period to get to your purpose?
I think it's so important because so many times we can just kind of numb ourselves or,
Mhm.
like maybe keep busy or do something else. So we're not sitting in what is, coming up for us. So we just kind of
Mm.
push it away. And so actually sitting in the stillness actually makes us look at it,
Mhm.
actually makes us just feel it,
Yeah.
And so I think it's so important to get quiet and let those things come up, and process that. And if you have a support group or a counselor, or sometimes a coach can help with that, like whatever that is, even a social circle,
Yes.
um, but to process that with somebody as you're sitting in it as well is so
Mhm.
helpful.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I think we have a busy culture,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
So we don't want
absolutely.
to sit in it because it's
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
And we think
So,
reaching out for help is a bad thing. Like our society has made it a bad thing when in all reality, you need someone to help you get to your next level. Even if you have to invest in that person, you need that to get to your next level because maybe they survived what you are going through. So now you need that person's survival skills, the practical things that they did to get through to be able to go to your next level. In the moment of your stillness, were there lessons that you learned that helped you maneuver through it and maintain it? Because I believe we go through things and we might learn these lessons, but a lot of times we don't know how to maintain the lesson that we learn in order to continue to grow.
mhm. Yeah, I think sitting in it, like I always knew there was a plan and purpose for my life, right?
Yes.
And so I held on to that hope, even when, the darkest days when you're like, I don't know if I can make it through kind of thing. But I always knew my purpose, and that's why I'm thankful for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I also learned that it's okay to just be for a season,
Yes.
right? Like I don't have to produce. I don't have to um have all the answers yet. And
Yes.
so I did have people in my life that I also looked to because they had gone through similar
Mm-hmm.
situations and had come out the other side. And so I think having those examples, even though so many days I didn't want to hear it, I didn't want to
Yeah.
see it. And I was like, you're so full of it. That's not
Yeah.
real, just because you're so far into it. But
Mm-hmm.
I think having those, you know, that glimmer of possibility that
Yes.
you will make it through, give it
Mhm.
time, you will see,
Yes.
brighter days again is what I held on to. Yeah.
That is so good. So I feel like hope and gratitude is really, really big. Do you think that, have you heard of affirmations? Well, you're a coach,
Hmm.
so I'm sure you heard of
Yeah.
affirmations. So do you feel like affirmations are important on this journey of pressing through to get to the purpose that our higher power has for us?
I do. And I actually have 4 on my mirror right now, because that was something that I never really wrote down,
Mm-hmm.
like I would kind of have them in my head, but I was like, no, like I need some kind of visual anchor
Mm-hmm.
to, for me to see and speak to myself,
Yes.
on those days when I didn't always believe it and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
so, yeah, I think affirmations and really holding on to the truth. And if that's like asking people, what are my
Mm-hmm.
strengths? What do you
Yeah.
see in me? Because sometimes we don't see our own brilliance because
Yes.
it's just us. And so I
Mm-hmm.
think sometimes we need those other people in our life to speak that life into us when we can't see it. And so, yeah.
Exactly. TD Jakes, he said on a sermon that he had, he said, a gifted person cannot see their gifts. That is
Hmm.
why you have to surround yourself with people that can see your gifts so that they can help nurture your gifts and bring them out of you. How important do you feel like being around the right people that can help you birth your gifts is in walking in this journey?
I think it's so important because, I mean, thankfully I have a good family and
Yes.
good friends that have always supported and encouraged me. But I do see how if you don't have even one person
Yeah.
speaking life into you, then it could be really hard to see it yourself,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're the more speaking life into people,
Mm-hmm.
you still need your cup filled.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
so I think it's important to have um people around that can, see your wisdom and see
Mm-hmm.
your strengths and see your giftings and
Yes.
to remind you of that. So
Yes, because
important.
sometimes, yes, it is. Sometimes we can just pour, and leave ourselves empty. And then this person or whoever, they'll watch us go through these seasons in life and they won't even have what it takes to give back to us because they are so used to us giving to them.
Hmm.
So, and I heard you speak about it's okay to be just not in a season of not producing. I call that the isolation season. And I truly believe that isolation causes you to elevate in your life. I feel like that isolation season is necessary. A lot of people run from that isolation season. Can you tell us some practical tips that you did to get through your isolation season when you felt like you did not want to produce?
Yeah. I mean, just thinking back, that is so, so hard of somebody that,
Mm-hmm.
you know, wants to help other people and wants to show up in a different
Yeah.
way. So that isolation, I just think of like the seed in the soil, right?
Yes.
Nobody's around, it's dark, but you have to continue to show up for yourself. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that was the biggest lesson I learned in the isolation season, that nobody can do it for me.
Yes.
Nobody, like, even though we need people pouring into us, it still has to come from us first and foremost. And so I learned a greater dependence on myself
Mm-hmm.
to trust myself of what I needed. Um, and also just like practical tips, just really going back to, like, I have a tattoo that I got many years ago, free
Mm-hmm.
to be,
Yeah,
right? And so it's
absolutely.
just like, and I always lean into there's different seasons in life,
Mm-hmm.
and some of those are going to look way different. And so in that isolation season, like you share, it's okay to be still, and
Mm-hmm.
it's okay to like journaling a lot and
Yes.
praying a lot if that's your
Mm-hmm.
thing, or just wailing if
Mm-hmm.
that's what you need to release whatever it is that
Yeah.
you need to. And so I think that doesn't seem like much, but I allowed myself to do that. And
Mm-hmm.
I do, just because other people have said, like, just allow yourself to cry,
Yeah.
and stuff, which society doesn't like to sit with either, because we don't
Purification.
want people to see sad.
Yeah.
We want them to be happy, but I
Mm-hmm.
think sadness is a emotion just like happiness, and we need
Yes.
both. And so, yeah, I think the practical tool would be just to allow yourself
Mm-hmm.
to feel it, to write it down, journal it, and just sit with it.
Yes, because I believe that journaling helps us really get it out of us. When you sit in with yourself, you're able to journal it and it helps get it out of us. And our brain is a problem solver. So automatically, once you get it out, your brain wants to solve this problem. And crying is just a purification. That's all that it is. It cleanses our soul. I truly believe that. So Soul Food with Sadie is all about planting seeds. I truly believe that we are meant to plant seeds in others and allow people to plant seed, grow, water those seeds so that God can bring the increase. Is there a seed you would like to leave with the people? It can be a word, a phrase, whatever it is to you. Is there something you would like to leave with the people?
Yeah, I think of the seed that I want everybody to know is that you do have a purpose, and you're created for a purpose. And so
Mhm,
I think the more we lean into that and really take stock of what we own, not
mhm,
what we want our life to look like,
mhm.
or admiring somebody else's and wishing we had their purpose. But I think getting really clear on our purpose for our life, we can then step confidently with
Mhm.
clarity into the
Yeah.
work we're supposed to do. And so that's the seed I'd like to plant.
That is really good. Thank you so much. And when you said about not someone else's purpose, I just lately, I don't know why that has been a word for me, because I feel like a lot of people, they feel defeated because they are really trying to operate and ride off of someone else's purpose. So getting clear, like she said, getting clear on what your purpose is, not someone else's purpose, so that you can thrive in life and not just survive. So someone is listening to this and they're going to wonder, how can they get in touch with you? They're going to wonder, what type of programs do you have to help them get clear on their purpose? Can you tell us how we can get in contact with you?
Yeah, I like to hang out on Instagram, and you can find me at A Creative Purpose. And my website is Naomi Geidel, and that's NaomiGeidel. And I do one-on-one coaching, and I also am starting some, small group collaborative groups for creatives, because I know that community piece is really important. So that's what I offer now. And I'm always excited to help, people coming up behind me, like, sharing with them what I've learned in these tough seasons, and working with my clients that are going through hard transitions, walking with them in that. I feel like I have a big empathy bucket. And so I love walking with people as they navigate what's next in their life.
Yes, really operating out of your purpose and really walking into your calling. That is such a beautiful feeling. So thank you, Naomi, for being a guest on the show. Is there anything else you would like to leave with the people?
Just, I think I just want to leave, just walk in your purpose and have fun with it. It is an adventure. And to hold the expectations, but also with open hands.
Yes. So being able to receive as well. Yes. Thank you so much for being a guest on Soul Food with Sadie. All of her information will be in the show notes. And thank you all for tuning in to Soul Food with Sadie. You guys, that show was so amazing. Naomi really dived into being free in a nutshell, really being true to who you are, walking in your purpose, and not looking at your purpose as something that is a burden, but looking at it as an adventure, knowing that you're going to go through those valleys in those wilderness seasons, but being able to embrace it so that you can grow to become the best version of yourself so you can live free. You guys, that show was all about freedom. Really listen to it and allow it to penetrate your spirit so that you can grow and be free in your mind. Thank you all for tuning in to Soul Food with Sadie. I am thankful for health in my body, peace in my mind, ears to hear and eyes to see. I am thankful for hands to write, legs and feet to stand, and wisdom to understand the gems that were given unto me today. I am thankful that I can create a strategy that I can implement into my life. I am thankful I am divinely created for such a time as this. I will be thankful for the small things, because the small things are only preparing me for the bigger things that are coming into my life.